last 4 weeks have been a breath of fresh air on the WWE Network, as the Cruiserweight Classic has presented us the first round, the first 16 matches. But we started the second round this week, and
it started with a bang, to say the least. Not Diamond Dallas Page. He didn't come out.
No.
Though that would have been a welcomed addition, I think.
This was more than I expected for the beginning of the second round.
This is sort of what I expected from the finals.
And on top of that, it was only 2 matches. So let's get right into it. Our first match, Gran Metalik, who advanced over Alejandro Sai, took on Tajiri, who advanced over Damian Slater.
These guys wrestled the whole gamut of styles.
They hit every type of wrestling you could think of.
They started off straight up chain wrestling, great sequence. They moved into lucha libre. They ended up going into strong style, just slapping and kicking the shit out of each other.
And then at the end, it was almost like a combination of everything. Like, they went from strikes, then they had their submission and pin battle on the ground, and then they did aerial stuff, and just it was everything you could have asked for from these two in one match that was about 15 minutes long.
Yeah, no, it was really good. But I mean, it's to be expected because there's 34 years of experience between the two of them.
Yeah, and when we talked about it last week as we were setting this match up, is that we have the veteran in Tajiri, but we also have a lucha veteran in Gran Metalik.
Yeah, Gran Metalik's been wrestling for 11 years already.
Yeah.
Which means he started when he was 16 years old.
So that's a lot of time for these two to be the best that they can be at what they do. And when you put them together, it was an unbelievable spectacle of a match.
Yeah, and another thing that I think makes this really cool is that Tajiri, in his early years, went to Mexico and trained in lucha libre.
Yeah, it was the mid-90s,
and then
before he went to ECW.
Early on in his career, Gran Metalik did the same thing. He went to Japan and wrestled in Japan during his early years.
Yeah, so not only are they well-versed and masters of what they do, but they are well aware of what the other is capable of doing.
Yeah.
And that just added to what they were able to portray in this match. And the great thing about this second round is, we talked about it last week. We talked about it while we were watching. Is we're still trying to guess who's winning.
Yeah.
But as far as the second round is concerned, we don't care who wins.
Yeah, we're at the point now where everybody who's advanced has kind of shown why they advanced, why WWE picked them to go to the second round, and why they could be potential winners.
Yeah. There's only...
For me, there's really nobody who's off limits except for maybe one person.
There's really only one person for me that I'm just like, okay, yeah, I mean, what you did was okay, but it hasn't really sold me yet. But I'm still excited to know that out of the 16 guys we have left, there's still a ton of amazing talent, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. So, after just a barrage, Tajiri started getting really physical towards the end of this match. He was looking to...
He gave Metalik... Metalik was on his hands and knees, and he walked up and just punted him in the face.
Yeah, and then Metalik was like, he just gets up and he slaps the shit out of Tajiri, and Tajiri doesn't move.
Yeah, he no-sold it, then he kicked him into the corner.
Yeah, and so Tajiri was just hitting these vicious moves again and again, just trying to knock Metalik out. And after there was the submission that he ended up getting out of.
Yeah, Tajiri put him in the wraparound leg full Nelson with a headlock, which is what Naomi does.
Yeah, and it was Metalik had to struggle and then just ended up He was able to reach
He
one of
punched his way out.
He kicked his way out.
Yeah,
Like he actually had
punched him with his foot.
he had like reach around and just like kept punching to. You made me do it.
Foot punching.
You did that to me on SmackDown, so I guess it.
No, I did that. You did that to me on SmackDown.
That's what I meant. Anyway, he ends up just kicking Tajiri in the face, and Tajiri is he's pretty much forced to let go. He can't stop it, and so as Tajiri gets back up, Metalik is able to duck. He ducked something and was
Tajiri went for the buzzsaw kick.
Yeah, ducked the buzzsaw kick and immediately picks him up and hits the Metalik screwdriver, and Gran Metalik advances over to Tajiri and will now face the winner of
Jack Gallagher versus Akira Tozawa,
which will be next week.
Yeah, as the opening match of next week.
Yes. And just when we thought it couldn't get better,
because that match was awesome,
it fucking did. Because our main event was Cedric Alexander versus the Golden Star, Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, and let's just, I can't remember the last time I've seen a crowd that going that fucking bananas during a match.
The only one that comes to mind recently is Zayn versus Nakamura.
Yeah, and I would go on record and say that this could have been a better crowd reaction than Zayn
I
Nakamura.
fully agree.
Because I think the biggest difference is people had a big expectation of what was going to happen in Zayn Nakamura.
And people kind of knew people kind of knew what the outcome was going to be.
Yeah, where this was just, here's two guys that aren't WWE regulars, two guys who very good chance have never even stepped foot in a ring together before.
Yeah.
And let's see what happens kind of thing.
And everything happened.
It reminded me, watching them reminded me when we were at San Jose for the live NXT show for WrestleMania. Because, that's how the crowd was when we were there.
The crowd
because NXT was still a hot commodity, still, really on its big rocket launch rise.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Mania weekend,
so
everyone was already super jazzed.
Yeah, and
the last few minutes of this match, nobody in the entire crowd was sitting down.
You couldn't. There was so many times that the crowd had to. They had no other option but to give this amazing amount of adulation towards these two competitors because they put fucking everything into this match. Yeah. And this is the opening of the second round.
Yeah.
There's still... Oh my god.
I'm going to say, for that being match 2, matches, 3 through 8?
Yes.
Of this round have a really high bar to meet, or a really good pace. It's going to be a really difficult pace to keep up with.
Yeah, no, they're going to have to wow us in many ways because after the technical and just every bit of wrestling you could hope for in Metalik versus Tajiri, you had one of the fastest paced, just most perfect matches you could have asked for between Alexander and Ibushi.
Yeah, and they definitely did not leave anything at the door.
No. The near falls in this match were
so many
fucking believable.
And Kota went for the triangle moonsault to the outside, and Cedric Alexander actually moved out of the way.
Yeah.
And then crashes and burns, and he immediately follows it up with a freaking somersault plunge to the outside, and Kota caught him, and they landed hard.
Yeah.
He ended up getting the triangle moonsault eventually, but
off the top rope.
He was able to spin himself all the way around.
Unbelievable.
To the top rope and get the moonsault.
Cedric Alexander, he was out to impress.
Absolutely. And, I mean, this is a guy who fair enough to say, you know, because we talked about him a lot when he was showing up on Ring of Honor TV.
Oh yeah.
You know, and he was a commonplace guy on Ring of Honor.
Oh yeah,
You see him a lot.
He had a good spot in Ring of Honor.
And I feel like this was him saying, hey, maybe you guys dropped the ball with Cedric Alexander.
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander could have been a main event guy.
Absolutely.
Not to say that most people in Ring of Honor couldn't be Ring of Honor main event guys.
Yeah.
But Cedric Alexander saying, look at what maybe I didn't have the chance to show.
Yeah.
Because I was stuck in a storyline with Veda Scott.
Yeah.
Like, suing Ring of Honor for being
Which,
a dangerous workplace.
Hanging out with Veda Scott every week it's not a bad gig, but it doesn't give you matches like this.
Yeah, and then there's the 2 back-to-back near falls towards the end.
Oh, yeah.
Right off the bat, Cedric Alexander hits a brain buster, goes for a pin. Kota kicks out at about 2 95 100ths. That's actually, 19/20ths. Lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
And Kota kicks out and like gets up to his knees, and Cedric feeds him a fucking spinning back kick directly to the mush that gets 2 99 100ths.
Yeah, and the crowd,
they're already amped
the
up.
energy
like,
was just.
This just makes them fucking go ballistic. People were pitchforks and torches tearing their shirts off. Fucking newspapers flying everywhere. There's a rhinoceros stampeding through the back.
I feel like you just described the movie Jumanji.
Yeah, none of that actually happened. But I thought it had the potential to happen.
No, it totally could have happened.
If there was
and it would have been commonplace.
Yeah, if any match in WWE history, had there ever been a chance for a riot to break out, this seemed like it would have been the time.
It was just...
he hits those 2 moves, and neither one works, and he backs up to the bottom rope.
He starts crying.
And he's crying.
He is just so beside himself. He's like, what the fuck do I have to do?
So talk about now having an awesome match, but now adding an emotional investment to it, where people are seeing, holy crap, he's literally crying.
And the crowd, not to say that they weren't behind Cedric from the beginning, but Kota is one of the favorites to win. He automatically had that everybody wants to see Kota succeed, but Cedric stole the show in this.
Yeah, but it was unfortunate for Cedric Alexander, because right after those unsuccessful near falls, Kota ends up really taking the rest of the match into his own hands.
Yeah, because Cedric did the Cruiserweight Classic Kryptonite, and he went for a top rope move towards the end of the match.
Yeah.
Not what I expected. I was expecting a 450 or some sort of flippy move, but he went for the most direct double stomp I've ever seen. Ended up rolling out of it, and then came back at Kota. Got a stiff shot to the face, tried to go for a clothesline. Kota ducked, hit a moonsault into a Pele kick.
Yeah, that was like a Skywalker Pele.
That was an amazing Pele kick. Just knocked Cedric down, and he was...
I think he ended up eating another head kick before.
He did another big roundhouse kick to Cedric's face, put him face down on the mat, and Kota picks him up.
Oh, and he ate another fucking gnarly German suplex.
Oh, yeah!
Dropped him on
I
his
forgot
head.
about the German was fucking vicious. Like, that...
It was very much in the same way that Tozawa's first German on Kenneth Johnson, it was a wraparound throw.
I think Kota's actually put Akira's to shame, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the same style, so you know that it was like, it wasn't like grab, set up, get ready, let's go. It was wrap around and throw.
Yeah, no, it was one fluid motion.
Both Kenneth Johnson and Cedric Alexander were both deposited in very quick manners onto their domes.
Yeah. 2 skinny black guys got dropped on their domes by 2 Japanese dudes with German suplexes.
Yeah. And then he hits the last ride sit-out powerbomb.
The Golden Star powerbomb. Just amazing form on this one, too. Like
He's held Cedric up.
Yeah. No, he had...
For a long time.
He Undertakered like a motherfucker and then ligered the shit out of him. It was
He was the Liger Taker.
the Underliger. It was amazing.
The Thundertaker.
Yeah, there you go, the Thundertaker. No, a fucking amazing match, and the crowd is on their feet. They got the Fight Forever chant. They got chants for each other. They got
both these guys chant like before the match fucking took off.
Yeah, this is awesome multiple times. This was an unbelievable moment in what has already been an unbelievable
5 weeks.
5 weeks of WWE television.
And like to top it all off is like you could tell genuinely that Cedric Alexander didn't expect to get that kind of reaction from the audience.
No, and he was...
I mean, it's fair to say that he might expect some reaction because he's been on TV.
Yeah,
Ring of Honors have been on TV for the last few years on
and he's been
different outlets.
And he's been on pay-per-views forever.
So to have that, but to get that kind of a reaction from a WWE crowd.
It was an amazing sight. Do we want to do this the way they did it, or should we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We advertised the next matches for next week's show. We already said the first one.
Yeah.
Jack Gallagher is going to take on Akira Tozawa. That's going to be one of the biggest contrasts of styles that we've seen so far.
I'm really interested to see what the two of them are able to pull off against each other.
But I'm going to say just in the way that people were impressed by the fact that Tajiri was busting out a lot of lucha against Gran Metalik. Tozawa's not a slouch when it comes to technical wrestling either. He just chooses to imply the physicality of the brutal strikes more often than not.
Well, it should be interesting to see. Also, this is a second chance for Noam Dar to impress me because his first match didn't quite sell me, but he's going to be taking on Ho Ho Loon.
This is where I feel we're going to get the weakest match of the second round.
That's not good because I'm not sold on Noam Dar.
It's not good.
I liked Ho Ho Loon.
Yeah.
It's alright.
Ho Ho, like, for me, both of these guys are good, but... And I want to say that Noam Dar can put on a way better match than he had during his first round match. But the one for me, out of all the people who advanced, Ho Ho Loon was the least impressive.
Okay, so it's your least impressive versus my least impressive.
Yeah, because for me, like, I watched him and Ho Ho Loon did like 3 or 4 different moves the entire match.
Yeah, no,
because
he wasn't exactly diverse.
He went to the drop kick like for 90% of his offense.
But then for me, Noam Dar kept going for a jumping kick like every other move. That was his way to put down Sierra. It was just continuously, and it was just wanting more. So maybe we can take the two I didn't know what to do in this match and make a now I know what to do in this match.
Yeah.
So hopefully those two are able to really get a second chance and impress both of us.
Yeah, and it's one thing too.
Who the fuck are we, right?
Ho Ho Loon is now the only Hong Kong representative.
Yes.
In the tournament, so he's got that banner to try and uphold because his counterpart in the tournament, Jason Lee, was eliminated.
But Noam Dar's the only Scottish-Israeli guy in the tournament. So.
Yes, he's the only Israeli or Scottish guy, or Scottish-Israeli guy. So he's got the most diverse, unique ethnic background.
Yeah, absolutely.
Out of anybody in this tournament, I think.
Yeah, no, he definitely takes it as far as his...
2 things you don't normally associate together.
No. And then our main event will be the Brian Kendrick taking on the premier athlete Tony Nese.
So we're cutting the American crowd down.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Now that Cedric's been eliminated, now we have 2 other American guys getting ready. Yeah, we're thinning the... There was an abundance of American guys in the tournament, so yeah, we're definitely thinning the crowd. Ciampa's out now, so... Be interested to see what Tony Nese and Brian Kendrick are able to do against each other. Both of these guys had impressive showings, despite Tony Nese having the awkward match with Anthony Bennett. He was still impressive on his end.
Yeah.
And we've seen Tony Nese wrestle before. He's no slouch.
No,
so it'll
There's
be
a reason why he has the moniker the premier athlete.
yeah. So it'll be fun to see what him and a veteran like Kendrick.
I think it's going to be a very classic sort of Tony Nese being the strong guy, Brian Kendrick being the fast guy. Sort of.
Is Kendrick going to keep up his heel
Probably.
persona? And is it because I feel like Tony Nese was kind of heel also. Is it going to clash? Do you think that's going to make it?
I think what I think is going to come down to is towards the end, it's going to get very, very rugged, very fight-esque.
I'm cool with that.
They're going to really get in each other's faces and start to go to town on each other.
I dig that.
In a non-sexual way.
And just when you thought we were done, the first time in the first 5 weeks of this tournament, we actually came back to the arena from the preview of next week's episode.
Yeah, where Corey does that at the CWC control room.
Yeah, usually that's the end, it goes off, and then you watch whatever's next on the network. Instead, we go back to the arena.
Cedric is giving his, goodbyes. He's doing his, bowing to the crowd, saying thank you.
The crowd is still just on their feet, clapping, chanting thank you. They are so impressed with Cedric Alexander. Then the chant of all chants happens.
This is a chant that anybody who were to be a WWE employee, but working for WWE in some sort of capacity, like a Cruiserweight Classic or like a one-off match on NXT.
Every
wrestler
in the world wants to hear this chant.
They're chanting, "Please sign Cedric."
And Cedric is he is actually walked away, and then he comes back out, and he is just completely blown away that he is getting this reaction. The genuine look on his face was just so... You could feel the gratitude he was feeling at that moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, that right there, that probably would have been just fine. He probably could have left and been like, you know what? That's fucking awesome. I did awesome. Then it gets even better because Triple H comes out and shakes the man's hand and looks at the crowd and says, "Don't worry, I'll take care of this." Puts his arm around Cedric and takes him to the back.
Yeah, he puts the arm around Cedric Alexander and then looks back at the crowd and does a thumbs up thing.
I can only imagine what Cedric Alexander was feeling at this moment. Not only did he just have probably the match of his career, not only is he getting the crowd reaction that every wrestler dreams of, but he's also just gotten personally escorted to the back by the guy who signs talent. It doesn't get much more perfect. The only thing that could have happened is if Vince would have actually walked out with a fucking contract.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that would have made that moment any better.
Yeah, no, it's a great thing, and it's going to add to the already stacked Cruiserweight division that's coming to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Monday Night Raw, they have two guys on there that could be real flagship guys for the Cruiserweight division. They have Neville, and they have Sin Cara.
Yes. I almost said Kalisto because I want Kalisto to be on. He's on SmackDown.
And there's a lot of these guys in the Cruiserweight Classic that have already been signed.
Yes.
They're currently technically considered free agents as far as what brand they're on, or NXT wrestlers.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, Gran Metalik and Lindsay Dorado are both going to be going to the Cruiserweight division once it opens up on Monday Night Raw.
There's also, especially with the fact that he showed up at TakeOver, that Kota has already been signed as well.
Kota's already had his first NXT match.
Yeah. So those three right there is, on top of Neville and Sin Cara, you're really starting to build that brand. If you add Cedric Alexander to that, especially after the match you just had with Kota, we might actually start liking Raw again.
Yeah, you have that. I definitely think this would be a good open window to have Brian Kendrick come back.
Oh, absolutely.
He'd be a great mainstay heel.
There's
just the 32 guys in here just show that this Cruiserweight division, they have an untapped resource of infinite potential.
Yeah. And
to happen on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Which will be good, I think, considering they have the 3 hours and we talk about how it's too long.
Let's just do 1 hour all cruiserweights.
I feel like that's what the opening hour of the show is going to be. I think you're going to get their opening promo, and then I think you're going to get cruiserweights. 1 or 2 cruiserweight matches.
You know what? If you want to do, one cruiserweight match every hour, that could work too. Yeah. Have that kickoff every hour of your show. You keep people interested because they're going to want to see what the cruiserweights do every hour.
Absolutely.
And then you throw in Finn Balor and Seth Rollins and Sasha Banks and all the other popular people in there, and you might have a 3-hour show that people like to watch and not trash on for 8.5 minutes. Who does that? But that is it for our Cruiserweight Classic review. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe.
And click all the links down in the description.
Social media galore.
Galore?
Galore.
Galore. Also,
igloo.
Also, the link to the podcast where you get our usual 4 weekly reviews: Indie News, Raw Review, SmackDown Rundown, and Midweek Wrap Up.
If you're watching this video, you probably realize that this isn't in the SoundCloud. Yeah. You don't get this, you don't get top 5s, you don't get prediction videos, and you don't get pay-per-view reviews on the SoundCloud. Those are exclusive to the YouTube channel only.
And all of those you'll find up in the playlist every single week. You can go to our channel and check every single playlist. You can go back, check out all those videos. This week, not only do you get this, but coming up next, you'll have my second edition of the Travis's Top 5, as we're talking about who impressed me the most in the month of July. And then next month, you'll get the Kevin Hawks Self-High 5 as he does his second edition as well.
Yeah, and don't forget to check out, we have another page, The Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
Indeed.
Where we don't do ReviewTube, we do YouTube.
Yes.
You get reaction videos, you get
unboxing videos.
Competitions between us, aka the Fantasy Warfare is back over on that channel. I do drink videos, you have your own videos. Thomas hopefully will be including more of his videos.
Yeah, and the fact that Thomas can't get out, he should be doing kind of vlog style rants and should be uploading to the Reasonable Wrestling Fans very soon.
And you post in the comments over there at Reasonable Wrestling Fans or on any of our videos what other kind of content you would like to see us do that's not sitting on the couch reviewing what just happened that you probably already watched.
Yeah, do you want to see games? Do you want to see challenges? Do you want to see different types of wrestling discussion? Do you want to see different type of wrestling reviews, older reviews?
Do you want to see us wrestle here in this living room?
We could do that.
You into that? That's weird if you are a little bit, but don't look at me like that.
Sorry.
I can see you.
Damn it. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Can't say fuck anybody on this one. It was really good.
This is too good.
Can't even make fun of it and say fuck.
Please sign Cedric.
I think it's done.
Fucking sign Cedric.